Welcome back to Eyes Open Media, and welcome to the Wall Street World Markets. All right, episode. I don't know what episode this is. Anyways, today is it's January 12th, 2016. Okay, before I get into what happened on the Wall Street today, and also what happened in the world markets today, let me clarify something for some of you guys that are in the dinar community on this channel that don't listen to the main channel. Okay, because I know there's some confusion in the dinar community about the budget law and the rate. So what I told my team today, my investment team, not like any other like special teams, or it's just an investment team, okay, that hold dinar and other currencies and were doing stocks with me and stuff like that in the past, okay. But most of them are from Eyes Open Media, from the Facebook page, remember, and then they came over here to my new personal page, okay. So I told them, this is what I wrote. I said, let me clarify some confusion in the dinar community. I said, okay, so the 2016 budget has a rate of 1182 or 1166. I don't know which one it is because, remember, they started the budget in like almost maybe September is when they started working on the budget, and they had a rate of 1166 when they were doing the budget. So they just started using 1182 in December 1st. So I don't know if the budget has 1182 because Soleil was telling us that 1182 is only monetary policy change. It's not a rate change. So they could still be using 1166, okay, for the budget. So that's why I put the rate of 1182 or 1166, so we don't know, okay? And I said that's common sense, but the budget law, okay, the budget law that the three presidencies agreed on, and then it was signed by the president, Food Masoon, okay, and on that Sunday, and which was, what day was that again? The 3rd or the 4th? Okay, the 3rd of January. That right there, okay, let me see what I said here. I said, and that was ratified on the 2nd and 3rd and signed by the president of Iraq, has the taxes and tariffs. I'm not sure about the HCL is in the 2016 budget, but the taxes and tariffs is in that budget law. I'm pretty sure the HCL, everything should be in that budget law that is going to trigger the rate, okay? The swiping of the cards, the HCL, oil and gas, and dropping lower denominators is not. It doesn't need to be in there, okay? And the taxes and tariffs, okay? And the salaries and stuff like that are going to be changing, okay? So I said, has the rate agreed by the CBI, the Finance Committee, the Ministry of Planning, and the IMF, okay? So the ratified budget law had a rate agreed on by the CBI, Finance Committee, the Ministry of Planning, and the IMF. Okay, so if the IMF is involved in creating a rate for the budget law, then we know it can't be 1182 or 1166 program rate, because you don't need the IMF for that. But if you install a rate in the budget law, not in the budget, because the budget is already set at 1182 or 1166, okay? So it's already set at the program rate. It doesn't need a rate. It's set at the program rate. But if you're going to do the budget law, which you ratify, and that takes the IMF to come in with the Ministry of Planning and everybody else in the Finance Committee to create a new calculations international standard rate, then yes, the IMF is going to be involved in that, and that's what they said. Okay, that the IMF was involved in creating this new rate in the ratified budget law. Okay, so the budget law, which is inside the 2016 budget, there are two things. There's a 2016 budget, and then there's a budget law. Okay, so the budget law is inside of the 2016 budget, will be published in the Gazette soon, and will activate the 2016 budget. Okay, so I said I hope that helped. All right, so that's it's probably more confusing now to some of you guys. Hopefully not. Okay, the budget law is not the 2016 budget. It's inside the 2016 budget. The budget law activates the 2016 budget. Okay, and the budget law was ratified to have the HCL oil and gas taxes and everything we need to see a rate change, okay? And so the IMF came with Iraq and all their committees to create a rate for the budget law, not the budget. The budget is 1182, 1166 as normal. Every budget has the program rate on it, okay? But the budget law, which will ratify by 3 presidencies, has a different rate for the HCL oil and gas taxes and tariffs that need the international rate, okay? So that's the difference. And we're waiting for that to hit the Gazette. And then once it hit the Gazette, it's activated, the budget, but that doesn't mean the rate is going to be activated, okay? They have to activate all the private sectors and everything like that before we can see the rate, okay? Just because the budget's activated doesn't mean they opened it. They have to open it, okay? They have to open it and put the custom tariffs. Okay, somebody's hitting me up. They have to put the custom tariffs, the taxes, the salaries, the HCL oil and gas, the sharing with the citizens, and all the other stuff. They have to do all that stuff. They have to open the budget, and then that will open the rest of the other budgets that have never been opened, and that will be giving us our rate, okay? And they'll be launching back to international markets, okay? So I wanted to make that clear for everybody, especially in you guys on here, because we don't talk about the dinar on here anymore. We're not going to be talking about it on here unless it's something like this where I have to explain something so you guys are not lost, okay? But most of the people here that are on Eyes Open Media, we're not going to be really talking about dinar. We're going to be doing world news, markets, and things like that, scriptures and stuff like that. That's for the main channel. And I'm going to be done. And I also on the main channel, I'm trying to, have them talk about other, bring me other things to talk about as well, because the dinar is at the end. The dinar is just waiting on them to publish it and then activate everything. That's all we have left. Publish it on the Gazette. We're waiting on that, and then activate everything that's in there that's going to change the rate to the international rate. That's it. That's all we got left. So everything else is pointless. You know what I mean? Really. That's why I said I'm finishing by 2:00. If that's what you guys want me to do is the dinar, I'll have 15 videos up by 2:00, and then I'm moving on. I'm going to be on Eyes Open Media the rest of the night. I'm not focused. I'm not going to be all day on the dinar. I'm done by 2. I'll give it 5 hours of my day, and that's it, and I'll move on. So unless I have something to explain like I did tonight, I have to explain it to you guys as well. Okay? So let's move on from there. Okay? Since that took up 7 minutes, and let's go to the markets and check that out. Okay, let's see. Actually, did you guys see, I did put it on Facebook, Currency 365, 1 USD equals 1,089 IQD. So it is in the 80s now. So it's headed towards 1,000. You know what I mean? That's where they probably wanted to go 1,000, and then we'll probably see it. I don't know if they follow the XC currency converter though, because the other ones are down in like 60s and 50s. Maybe I don't know, but the XC currency converter to me is the one that is mostly worldwide trusted and recognized. So, but I have no clue. I need to see it live on the Forex, But anyways, let's move on from this stuff. Where am I at here? Okay, let's do the world markets first since I have that up. All right, so let's go to Asia. Shanghai Composite was up 0.20% today. Hang Seng was down 0.90%. Nikkei was down 2.71%. Europe was all up today. FTSE 100 was up 0.98%. DAX was up 1.63%, and CAC 40 was up 1.53%. All right, so North America and South America, let's see, the S&P 500 was up 0.78%. Mexican Bolsa was up 0.77%, and Brazil was down minus 1.09%. Okay. Alrighty then. Canada was up today as well. Was that it? Chile was down today. And I think that's it. So, Mexico was up. Who else? Okay, that's it. All right. Now let's go to a U.S. stocks market. And no one sent me any more stocks yet. I asked the main channel and this channel, bring me stocks. So apparently you guys don't, you guys are not on Wall Street like that as I thought. Okay, that's fine. I will probably just look up some stocks, random stocks, and I'll start studying because it's really good for me anyways. Because I don't day trade like I used. I don't day trade at all anymore. So I don't day trade. I'm not doing any stocks right now. So it'll be good for me to remember, just a refresher for me to grab a symbol of a stock, look at it and just read the charts and just keep my mind fresh as a Wall Street guy. You know what I mean? Because that's what I used to do all the time. Wall Street and go to work. Wall Street, school, and work. Wall Street, school, and work. I remember one time, man, I used to, this is when I really got really sick because my immune system was so bad. I didn't get any sleep. I would literally go to work and go to work for like 8 to 12 hours, depending on how long I had to stay. Sometimes I was at work for 16 hours. And go to work, then go to school, and maybe get like 30 minutes of sleep, then go to school, and then come back from school, and then do Wall Street stuff, and then take maybe a 2-hour nap and go straight back to work. I would do that for I was doing that for months and months and months, and it tore my whole immune system. Okay, so you want to talk about not having an immune system? Just a little tiny dust would make your eyes water, your nose run, you would sneeze all day. It was funny because when I actually went to school in college, when I was going to college, I wouldn't have those symptoms. Those symptoms would completely go away, and then as soon as I left school, those symptoms will come right back. So it was kind of funny. It allowed me to stay in school because you can only imagine sitting in class, coughing, sneezing, runny nose, runny eyes, eyes watering all day in class. You wouldn't even be able to stay in class. So for some reason, every time I hit the school, the symptoms went away. And then and also at work. But when I come out the door, or when I leave work, or when I leave home, or actually, I did have the symptoms when I was at the house. But when I was at school and work, I would not have those symptoms. I would be able to do my job and be at school. But man, other than that, it was just full blown no immune system. So and I was doing stocks and stuff. Man, we were making some money all together. Like I sometimes I lost a lot of money too, though. I ain't gonna front. I lost a lot of money playing the stock market, but I did make a lot of money too at one point. At some points, I think my highest gain was maybe like $16,000 or something like that, $8,000, $16,000, something like that. I know one time I was up like 22, 27,000, and then I didn't sell, and the stock just kept coming down, and then I was like, hold up, I'm down 6,000 now, and I'll be at school, and I would look at my phone, and I'm up 27,000, and then all of a sudden this company brings out bad news, and I'm down 6,000 in 4 hours, and I'm like, no. That's the roller coaster ride stocks had me in back then, man. I'd be up 4,000, down 3,000. It's a fun roller coaster ride though. But if you can win more than you lose, and you cut your losses, you cut your losses quickly, you're good. But man, I could not cut my losses quickly back then, man. I would just let it go all the way down, and I would lose 10 grand, and I'd be like, oh my gosh. And then I'll come back and I'll make 4. I'll come back, I'll make 8,000. I'll come back, I'll make 6,000, and then I'll lose 20,000. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was a fun roller coaster ride. At one point though, I got for maybe 7 months, man. I was making I would do a trade, and it would be like 300, 500, 300, 500, 800, 1,200, 1,500. And I was just making money like that, plus working and going to school. So man, sometimes I would make 20,000 in 1 month because I was on a roll, you know what I mean? And then other times I would lose 7,000 in 1 month, you know what I mean? So, it was crazy. But anyways, the Dow Jones is, was up today. It's at 16,516, and it's still below 17,000. So we need to watch that closely and see if it actually can come back to 17. Remember, it's supposed to go to 20 plus before we really see like stuff going downwards, like the housing markets and things like that. The thing that's going to create this horrific economic crash in America is the housing market, right? So we got to see the housing market start to fail before we see an economic crash, because we thought it was going to be last year and we did. And then when we noticed that the housing market, that the elites were not going to destroy the housing market last year, we called it off quickly. So we alerted everybody early, late. Well, no, it was maybe February when I came. Was it? No, yeah, it was February on Eyes Open Media. We Facebook page. We said we're not going to see anything. We're not going to see it because we might see a correction in September, which we did, and we're also going to watch China, because China's going to be suffering. Okay, and they're going to have to take their hands off the Vietnamese dong. Okay, and that's exactly what we saw, but for a crash, we said no, because the housing elites are not they're not ready for the housing market yet. And that's exactly what happened. So praise God on that. But this year, we're looking for the housing markets to start to go under. If we do not see that, then we got to wait, because they might do it later on. Okay. But look around April and May for the housing market to start being in trouble. If that's the case, we're going to see the ripple effects of the housing market, and then go into the derivatives and the stock market and everything else. They're going to shut the banks down for 2 or 3 days on bank run. They're going to introduce a new dollar and things like that. Okay. So we're looking so everything's triggered off of the housing market. So if the housing market doesn't go, then we got to push it back. Okay. God's giving us more time if that's the case. Okay. Then we'll push it to late December or late, October, November, December, and we'll see what happens then. Okay. But if we don't see it in spring, then you're good to go until you start seeing, signs of it. Okay. So that's good news. So right now in the housing market, we don't see anything on the housing market. So the housing market is fine right now. So if we don't see anything, just push it to late December, and then if we still don't see anything, then push it to mid January 2016. That means we're getting grace. We're getting our time back. We've lost a lot of time. Okay. So let me see here from all the delays on all our investments and stuff. So let's see NASDAQ here. NASDAQ was up today as well, 47 points. Oil was up today, even though it's at 30. Oh my goodness, did oil hit $20 today? It looks like it. Let me see. 35, 30. No, it didn't hit 30. It hit 30. Oh wow, I thought oil was in the 20s today. Almost. It actually hit 31, 32. Is that 32? Yeah, 30. It actually hit 33, and then it came all the way back down. So it closed at $30 a barrel, 78. Okay, and gold was up today as well. It's at 1,086.4, 0.4%. Let's see. And the euro was down on the dollar today. It's at 1.08475. Okay. Let's see. Was anything down or up today? ETE, Energy Transfer Equity, was down 12% today. And Williams, WMB, was down 11% today. Okay. What else was down today? Matter of fact, let me check the two stocks that we talked about yesterday and see if they were actually up today, because I was talking about them. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you'll put something on the internet and then everybody runs to the stock. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Hold up. That's G. That's not even the same one. Come on, let me do this. The one was GET, right? Um, yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so in the morning it was up. It was up in the morning, and then it fell out in the afternoon. So sellers came in. It was up to it hit 95, 195. It looks like yeah, opened up at 195. So it was up in the morning. It was up like seven ticks in the morning. I guess because people probably heard the video and bought some, and then it closed down, and then it started rising back up in the after hours. Okay. Give it time because is this the one that said it was a gold mine or was it the other one? I can't remember now. I think it might have been the other one. But both of them are gonna make you money if you hang on to the ride because if you look on the year chart, last March is when it started to rise. So you gotta wait. You gotta take the heat now and just buy as it drops. This is when you're supposed to be buying. Isn't that the rule? And some of you guys know Breitling Dinar. He always stresses that rule. When oil goes down in the winter, that's when we're buying. We're not getting out and taking losses. We're buying and taking losses. Okay, and then when it comes up in the spring, we double our money, spring and fall. So look at the chart here for last year. February, it's when it started going up, and then it came back down in March, and then it exploded into April and May. Okay, so there was a. Let me see if that was a double though, from where it was at. Let me see. Let's see. You could have bought it at 2, and it went to 4. Yeah, there you go. You could buy it at 2 something, and it goes all the way to 4. Ain't that a double? So, and that was last May. Last May was around almost about $4, or maybe a little bit over 4. There's your double. So you buy here at 187 for GTE, and you hold until March, April, May, and you'll get your double. You see. So let's see. What was the other one? I don't even know the other one's symbol. Maybe I should just cut this off. I don't think I remember the other one's symbol. It was like CHK or I can't remember. Anyways, that's it, man. I'm done. I'm done with Wall Street stuff, and maybe I'll check the other one tomorrow because I can't remember the symbol. What was the symbol? I can't remember. All right, guys, Currency 365. I'm powered by Eyes Open Media, and if you want me to check the other one tomorrow, I think it was Chesapeake something, Chesapeake Energy or something. Let me see. Chesapeake Energy? No. I don't know. Anyways, Currency 365 and powered by Eyes Open Media. Eyes open.